D-Lo 404 Boxing. All right, y'all. I'm gonna come back. I got two things I want to clear up about that press conference. There's a lot more in there, but there's two things specifically that I want to shed light on. There's already one that's definitely already been spoken on. The other, and I don't know if anyone's spoken on it yet. I'm pretty sure there has been, because there's a lot of people who know better, who talk boxing on a consistent basis, do it a lot more frequently than I do. And one being Tofimo Lipez being undisputed in 2 divisions, as Derrick James claimed. I know Crawford corrected him, but I know that there's propaganda put out there by media that suggests that was the case. And you know what I'm saying? So a lot of people looking at it like, you know, they're running with it. Tofimo Lipez was unified at 135. Devin Haney was WBC champion at that time. When Devin Haney and George Kambosos fought each other, that fight established the 135-pound undisputed champion. Prior to that, there was not one. It hadn't been one in many, many, many years. I mean, probably, I can't say exactly when. I want to say going back to Pernell Whitaker maybe, but I'm not sure. Don't quote me on that. But it definitely had been over a decade. I think at one point Nate Campbell had 3 of the 4 belts, and I think Pacquiao may have had the other one at the time. So that was I think David Diaz and then Pacquiao had the other one. That was as close as we came to undisputed at 135 in my recent memory, prior to Kambosos and Devin Haney coming together and Devin Haney becoming undisputed. Okay. As far as his 140, he definitely wasn't undisputed. Had Josh Taylor been able to hold on to his belts going into that fight, which he already had to started dropping belts, you know, right after the Catterall fight. You know, Catterall, you know, arguably, you know, could have had an opportunity to become undisputed, but he couldn't pull it out, you know, but it was arguable about who won that fight. But end of the day, Josh Taylor retained his belts. But after that fight, other mandates and things like that came down. Josh Taylor started shedding belts. Taylor went into the fight with the WBO belt and the Ring magazine, or Lineal as some people call it. And he lost that to Tofimo Lipez. So Tofimo Lipez definitely not undisputed in one weight class, let alone 2. And as far as Terence Crawford becoming the first male, and I respect Crawford for bringing that point up, saying male undisputed champion in 2 weight classes, because definitely paying homage to Clarissa Shields, who has been undisputed in 2 weight classes in the women's rankings. So much respect to Clarissa Shields as well. So I appreciate Terence Crawford clarifying that, because a lot of people try to overlook that. You know, especially when you start talking about the males. You know, I mean, when you say in boxing, you're talking about the sport of boxing in totality. So that includes the women. So definitely don't take that away from what they've done. Just like, you know, I wouldn't take away from Amanda Serrano how many divisions she's won championships in. You know, just because she's fighting other women like herself. So one thing about that statement, though, about Terence Crawford, and Terence Crawford's not the only one saying this. Other people say it all the time. I mean, people who work in the sport of boxing say it all the time, that if like they said it when Usyk and Fury were about to fight, that Usyk had an opportunity to become the first male undisputed champion in 2 divisions. They said it about Crawford. He has an opportunity to become the first male undisputed in 2 divisions. That would be true. That's true if you include in the 4-belt era at the end of that statement. But if you don't include the 4-belt era, you're grossly disrespecting a great fighter in Evander Holyfield, who was undisputed cruiserweight champion when there was only 3 recognized championships. And he also was undisputed heavyweight champion when there was only 3 recognized championships. And that's not that long ago. I mean, we're talking about 20 some odd years ago, maybe at this point. maybe, yeah, well, getting closer to 30. Getting close to 30 years ago. But we're not talking about 100 years ago. So people shouldn't be acting as if it didn't happen or they don't remember that. Evander Holyfield, for a guy that had the career he had and fought the people that he fought, you definitely don't want to go around diminishing his accomplishments or acting as if they didn't happen. He deserves that respect, and his accomplishments deserve to be remembered. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer and all that, but at the same time, when you take anything anybody's accomplished and you start talking about other people doing it but dismissing the fact that they've already done it, that's disrespecting the sport. They're disrespecting that individual, and also it kind of takes away from the individual who's trying to accomplish or who does accomplish whatever it is, because if it looks like you're trying to put cables on it by acting like they're the first one to do it, then that makes people start to kind of feel some type of way about it. Like, okay, they had to exaggerate this, so apparently it ain't what it was or what they're saying it is to be. But that's all I got on that. D-Lo 404 Boxing. Like, share, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Peace.